If you look at my life, the entire life, my health, it has always been very bad. They were expecting me to come to the function, but rather I went to a hospital. I couldn't even keep my eyes open for few hours or few minutes. I had my first biopsy here in the cervical area.
What was the result of the biopsy which came in August? Did you finally get a diagnosis? Did you finally know what it was?
Steroids might cause some other symptoms which you may not be ready to deal with at the moment. It might give you energy, but it might also give you something else as well. I didn't even change a single pair of clothes for 28 days. I drove from Hyderabad to my hometown and see my grandmother because it was me trying to say a goodbye. And no one knows about it. It takes tremendous courage to tell someone that you do not feel like living.
Welcome to Unbroken, My Story with Tisha. This is where we talk about failures, challenges, and the lessons that shape us. We explore resilience, inner strength, and growth. Today's guest is someone who embodies quiet strength and has an incredibly positive outlook on life. They live with a rare condition, but what truly defines them is not the diagnosis. It's the courage, self-awareness, and resilience they bring to each day. Through honesty, grace, and a deep belief in moving forward, one step at a time, they continue to find strength within themselves and inspire others simply by showing up as they are. I'm truly honored to welcome Priya to the show. Priya, welcome, and thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with all of us today. How are you feeling?
Absolutely well. And I think I'm in high spirits as always, and today a bit more.
Wonderful. So, Priya, I know that you have suffered with a rare condition. Do you think you could talk to us about that?
Absolutely. A lot I can share and talk about. So before even I dive into the topic, I would like to mention something to you.
Of course.
I have never ever shared my story publicly so far, but I am here today sharing with you on this podcast, ready to speak all about it, only with the intention to raise awareness of this condition and how rare it is. And another thing is also you are doing a wonderful thing by bringing the stories out, not just mine, but I know I feel so blessed to know you personally as well.
Thank you, Priya.
And all the best wishes to you, right?
Thank you so much, Priya. I do appreciate all your wishes and I'm very emotionally overwhelmed, but thank you so much.
Yes. So if I have to dive into the details about the condition, it was in October 2020. The first symptom is I had a small bump just around my finger. And then even before the bump, I started having a weird pain in my armpit. The nerve was pulling. I could feel there is some nerve that's pulling, right? And elbow, I was not able to put a finger on where the pain is, but after 2 days I could see my nerves on my hand started swelling and showing up, and then slowly the bump has been increasing. I couldn't understand. I started to feel as if I have fevers, chills, and if you put a thermometer, there is no temperature, but I was feeling shit internally, right?
Yeah.
I was feeling terrible.
Yeah. How old were you at that time?
I think I was 24, 25.
And this had never happened with you before. It was the first time.
This particular condition, the first time. But if you look at my life, the entire life, my health, it has always been very bad, extremely bad. Several health issues.
Then what happened?
Then obviously I went to a doctor. And first I went to someone local, like an MD. And then he gave me antibiotics and didn't work. And in fact, the pain grew more and the swelling grew more.
In the same place?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was very hard to explain, right? Because there was nothing visible other than this swelling on these two nerves and a bump here, and then the bump over a period of time, despite taking antibiotics, it just kept growing. And then it has started growing to a level where it started to look like a wound and like a tumor.
Okay.
And even for the eyes, it's not, to look at it, it is not appealing.
Yeah.
And I went to hematologist because it certainly has something to do with blood. It has because only when you have some changes in the blood, you sometimes have these kind of issues. So the first thing I've done is went to, of course, after seeking an opinion from MD, using antibiotics, it was not coming down. After 2 weeks, I went to a hematologist, and he has seen me, and he has been so worried because of my age, and there was no one with me, right? And I went alone to the hospital. The doctor has been so kind that he did put so much time and effort in to know what it is, to rule out if it is a cancer and if it is something related to blood cancers and everything. And then the doctor suggested it might have something to do with rheumatology, which is again an autoimmune condition. So he referred me to a rheumatologist, and I met a rheumatologist. And so when you go for autoimmune checks, there are certain checks or blood tests that doctors prescribe, which is ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation rate. That is a common test. Then you will go in deeper and deeper into more tests, right?
Yeah.
And everything was normal to me.
So all your results were normal?
Yes, all my results were normal. The only thing that is abnormal is my lymphocytes count and few other cells count in my complete blood picture test.
Right.
So which was prompting us to go for these other additional tests.
Yeah.
Even there, from rheumatology, there is nothing. It was all normal. So 6 months passed, and this faded. I have not done anything, right? It was there for 4 weeks or something, or 6 weeks, and then it faded over a period of time.
So the pain went and the bump also reduced in
Yes.
size.
Yes.
Were you working during these 4 to 6 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, so you were carrying on with your work
Yes.
as normal.
Yes.
It was a debilitating condition because obviously you were not well, you were feeling the chills, you were in pain, and you were obviously going through the tests and visiting the doctors as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Then what happened?
I was okay. I was all right. I've been doing my own things. So in May 2021, I started feeling again not so good. I can see my body is behaving a bit different. I'm not able to wake up and feel okay, good, or feel energetic. And first few days I thought maybe it could be some stress from work, or it could be
Flu or something maybe?
flu, yeah, or it could be any other reason, right? It's not that every day you feel on cloud nine or be in your high spirits. So what happened then is, few days later, I started to develop tumor in my underarm, and it started slowly growing. It's a tumor, and I started having fevers, 104-degree fevers every day. And then I could feel no energy. When I say no energy, trust me, absolutely no energy. Was having severe headaches, such banging headaches. I couldn't even keep my eyes open for few hours or few minutes. I don't know what's happening. And I took paracetamol. I was in India at that time, in Hyderabad, in May 2021, and around the same time when India imposed second lockdown during COVID. And it was a very difficult period to step out of the house or go to the hospitals. Even the doctors are not taking active appointments in India, especially when you have fevers. So my condition is not just fever. It has got so many other aspects to it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have the energy to explain to the doctors or
What
have
you
the
were.
patience to even explain in detail,
Yeah.
right, on calls. And I tried taking paracetamol, Dolo 65, and whatever that would help with the fevers, but nothing is helping. And then the tumor started increasing in size. And one day I woke up and my neck is not moving because I had severe swellings on my neck, on the left hand, right hand, I don't remember. I think right side. I could feel lump. It's called lymph node swellings because I was staying alone and there is one roommate of mine. She was also living in this next room. However, because of the COVID reasons, because I had fever, she also couldn't come and help support, and it was very difficult period. Then somehow I've got all the strength and courage to go see a doctor, and then I went to one hospital, right? And then in my head, it was the hospital that I usually go to. Dr. Shamla is the one I usually go to at care hospitals, but I was at Continental Hospitals asking for Dr. Shamla.
Oh, so you went to, you were confused, you mean?
Yes.
Right.
Not just confused, I lost my memory.
Oh.
I was having the episodes of not able to recollect information from the past, because the body doesn't have the energy to do so. However, I got it cleared, and I went to the care hospital, and I met Dr. Shamla, and then Dr. Shamla is one of the most amazing doctors, and she has treated me with patience, and she saw that, and then she said, this doesn't look normal, with the fevers, fatigue, and I had a bit of weight loss as well, and all these symptoms are mimicking 3 conditions as per doctor's notes. One is lymphoma, which I believe is something related to cancer. Then there is tuberculosis, and then there is another condition called lymphadenopathy, which is basically the swellings in the lymph nodes. So lymph nodes, scientifically, lymph nodes are the ones that would help you with fighting, or all your immune system is the lymph nodes. Basically, they help you fight the infections or anything, diseases. So it attacked my lymph nodes, right, whatever the condition is. And then, so these 3, when I saw the notes, I don't know what to do, to be honest. I saw it, I really don't remember how I felt or how I should feel at that point, right? For me, the first thing is, what next? I'm all alone in Hyderabad. Should I tell the family? Should I not tell family? Because if I share with the family, they will make a mountain out of a molehill, and I do not want that, because I don't even know what the condition
What it is yet, yeah.
Right? So what do I tell?
What do you tell?
It will only start worrying everyone around me, and then everyone will start calling me every day asking for the updates, and will that help me at that point of time or in that situation? No. So this has always been my approach, right? Prioritize, just like how I prioritized my health over a family function. And even now I was being practical and trying to see what next. So do I have enough money to, if it turns out to be any of these conditions, do I have enough money to support myself? Do I have enough support to be able to take a break from work and all of those?
Were you working throughout?
Yes, I have been working throughout, right? So this is in May, and I had fevers repeatedly for 2.5 months. Every day 104-degree fever, and then fatigue, and 2.5 months I continued to work. And in between, I had my first biopsy here in the cervical area, and the biopsy results took almost 2.5 months to come. So I got my results around mid of August. It was for 2.5 months. I don't know what's happening.
And you were still continuing to feel these symptoms?
Yes.
Continuously. Every day.
And at the same time, I had an admission at the University of Nottingham for MBA degree. I was supposed to be here in September 2021 for my MBA. I couldn't. I had to cancel it. The journey was extremely difficult. It required me to bring out all the strength.
So you had your biopsy.
Yes.
And what was the result of the biopsy, which came in August? Did you finally get a diagnosis? Did you finally know what it was?
Yes. Again, thanks to Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, who is a pathologist, India's number 2 pathologist, if I am not wrong. And she had called me into her cabin and said, Priya, this is not cancer, luckily. This is not tuberculosis. But this is something extremely rare condition, which is Kikuchi Fujimoto. Looks like not even 10% of India's population has this condition. Hardly hardly you can count it on your fingers.
Right.
And then there is no information available on Instagram or Facebook or any other sites other than Google, and even Google has very extremely limited information about the condition. All it says is it's a autoimmune disorder, and the cause of this condition is unknown, and research is going on. Also, it says it's a self-limiting disease, which means it resolves on its own. There is no other medication to help with your symptoms. It's just to control the fevers, you can take paracetamols, and to not feel fatigue or to not feel low on energy, you can take steroids. But I have not taken any steroids.
Why not?
I believed your body can recover on its own. It was my strong belief, right? Because steroids, don't get me wrong, I'm not a science person or I'm not a doctor to say this, a medical person to say this, but
this is your own experience,
yes,
and your own decision for your own self.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have to go by what your gut says, and trust your instincts, right? My instincts at that point told me, Priya, steroids might cause some other symptoms which you may not be ready to deal with at the moment. It might give you energy, but it might also give you something else as well with it. It could be true, it could be false, but it was my gut instinct. And I discussed the same with my doctors. So the oncologist, MD, and pathologist, and few other doctors, because if at all I'm going to go down for the steroids path, then I should not have infection in anywhere in my body, including my tooth. So dentists and whole lot of doctors were involved, right?
Wow.
From across the departments, neurologist. Eventually they respected my decision and not to go with steroids.
Okay.
So I didn't take any steroid, and I tried telling myself, okay, the only problem at the moment I have is not having enough energy levels and having headaches and all of it. So how do I deal with it is the next question. Do I have any other choice? No. So I prepared my mind. I have accepted the fact that I am going to wake up not knowing how I feel. But the only silver lining is I'm waking up every day, to a new opportunity, to a new whole world of possibilities. I might wake up feeling nothing, no symptom, no pain. So I think I was trying to wake up with that hope. I was going to bed and trying to wake up with that hope that one day I wake up and I feel all good. So in March, again, I started noticing another tumor in my left armpit.
Oh, the other armpit this time.
Yes. So it's in extension to my left breast. And again, the same thing started. Fatigue, fevers, so on and on and on. And again, I had to go through the whole process of tests. So trust me, during this process, right, like from May to July or mid-July, I had to go through hundreds of tests. It was both financially and mentally, it was extremely exhausting.
Yeah.
Every day I was doing 9 to 5 job in the hospital, right? So I have to go I'll sit with my laptop. And again in March, the same process. We need to understand whether this is tuberculosis, whether this is cancer, because my family has a history of cancers, my dad's side, my paternal side.
Oh, okay.
So that is another thing what worried the doctors the most. And they had to rule that out every single time.
Yeah.
So,
but Priya, having had this diagnosis of Kikuchi Fujimoto,
yeah.
Did that not help to get the diagnosis the second time round a bit quicker?
No, unfortunately no. Because that's how my body symptoms are every time, and the blood tests are trust me on this, right? So every time it starts with a simple blood test, which is called complete blood picture or full blood count.
Yeah.
So in that you will look for white blood cells, lymphocytes, and few other cells, and all of these, and then you go for ultrasound scans, and then in ultrasound scans they will look for whether there is any necrosis that leads to some other diagnosis. So
Wow.
the more than me, it was more trickier for the doctors, because each blood test of mine or each scan of mine became more complicated.
Raised
more and
another
more,
question.
yes, more
Yeah.
and more complicated, raising another question. And they had to keep ruling out to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That was an extremely difficult journey again. This led to a surgery. So this is not a biopsy, it's a
Okay.
proper surgery. My story doesn't end there.
Okay.
So again in October 2022,
Yeah.
I had another surgery.
Okay.
Symptoms are different this time, and the place is also different, and the diagnosis is also different.
Okay, so it's not Kikuchi Fujimoto.
It's not Kikuchi again.
Okay.
So it's different, another thing again. So there were the whole journey from 2020 October to 2022
Two.
or 3. It continued into 2023 as well. So it was extremely difficult phase in my life.
Yeah. Who was your go-to person during this time? Was your family then aware of these things that you were going through? Were they able to provide support? Did work give you some allowances? Did you open up to anybody at all during this time?
So the first biopsy, I went and I said, okay. So before the biopsy or any procedure, right? They kind of ask you go through certain tests. Where they ask you to sign on certain things, and then they will check your profile for anesthesia. These are basic normal procedures. So at that time, my biopsy procedure was scheduled, let's say the next day, tomorrow, and then the day before I was going through these procedures, and that's when in the evening I realized that someone like a family member or a guardian or a friend has to come and sign on the paper before the procedure next day morning. And I didn't tell anyone. So that's when I had to call my mom. Said, don't panic, but can you be here with me in Hyderabad tomorrow? I didn't tell her anything, and then she came, and then I explained her what's happening, and then straight away we went to the hospital, got admitted, she signed the form. Since then, my mom has been with me. She has been really supportive, and she has seen me fight how I fought.
So I know the medical system in India is you pay for everything that you get done. So you would have had to pay for every scan, every test, every diagnosis that you would have had, all the medication you might have had to take. So you have to pay for everything. How were you managing it all financially?
Right, very good question. I think the audience will also benefit from this, right? The first thing that I have done is got into YouTube and spoke to friends. I didn't tell any friends about all of this condition, right? And I just said, you know what is the quickest way to make some investments and all of it? And then I came across stock market, and then I put some money into the stock market, and then I just hoped it would grow. If not immediately, at least after a certain point I might reap the benefits, right? So it would help me. And I started educating myself on the stock market from YouTube and through friends, discussing about shares and all of it. And some of the friends are kind enough to tell me which shares to invest on. I used to watch this program on CNBC every morning, right? So they tell you which share is going to do well. So I used to follow those tips and do some research and do it. That is one. Thank you for that question again.
So you learned how to invest what you already
Yes.
had for it to grow, so that you could financially be able to afford
Yes.
whatever treatments you had to
Yes.
go through,
Yes.
and financially secure your future as well as much as
Yes,
possible.
because in India, like you said, rightly said, most of the thing is private. We do have public or government hospitals,
Yeah.
but I chose to be in the private healthcare. Private healthcare is extremely expensive, especially when you have to go through the tests. If you are getting admitted like a procedure, also because I was working. I continued to work. I never
Yeah.
took a break because I have a decent salary in India as per Indian standards. So it all helped.
So you were able to manage it on your own,
Yes.
and your mom was there to
Yes.
support you.
Yes.
So Priya, going through all of this for about 2 years about 2 years you went through it, from 2020
Two
to
and a
20,
half.
2.5,
Two and a half.
maybe even 3
2,
years.
3 years.
Yeah. How did that impact you mentally?
It has always been what next.
What do you mean by that?
As a human being, I also have desires, hopes, I have aspirations. My immediate aspiration was to do my master's or MBA, which I have been wanting to do since I was a child. That was one aspiration that I was looking forward to, and then that was keeping me alive inside. Another thing is my family, my mom and my grandmom, especially because I was raised by my grandmother and she means everything to me. I wanted to become better. I wanted to fight all of this at any cost for her, and I want to, get back in the pink of my health for my grandmother and then give her that happiness, because seeing me like that, it's not easy for her too. Mentally, yes, it did affect me when I was thinking what next and what would happen. Especially my mom, I was worried about my mom, because especially when the diagnosis was taking a lot of time. That's when the first diagnosis itself, I decided I should secure my mom's future. And then I bought a house, and in between all these surgeries, checkups, tests, through my symptoms, fevers and work, all of this, I focused to buy a house. I got support. I think God ensured that there is that enough support to me from either from friends, strangers, or through connections, through workplace. So this sickness, right, or this health condition, whatever this 3 years period is, it also did a lot of good things to me. It's not always the bad things, right, that happens. It also did a very good thing, that I was able to get returns
So you
from
learned
the
about
investment.
how to use your money
Yes,
cleverly.
cleverly.
So yeah, and that's something that you will carry on,
For the rest of my
your life.
Yeah. Second, I was able to buy a house at a very young age. So mentally, because you asked me how it affected me mentally, all of this is a pressure, right, in your head, which you can't explain to others. So sometimes I try talking to some of my friends or some of the people that I know. They'll be like, "Oh, you are thinking too much. You don't think that way. Why do you think?" They give me that sympathetic tone. I'm not asking for sympathy, or I'm not pitying myself, but then the mental pressure is always there. So when you're thinking about all of these things on your own at that age, with all these conditions, uncertainty especially.
So Priya, we've spoken about mental health and how you found, the strength in yourself, but also you were able to get some support from your mother and in the society as well. Did anything else happen in your life at all that might have impacted your mental health? How did you deal with it? What did you do?
I should thank you for asking me this question. I suffered from depression. I've been diagnosed with having a depression, and many incidents and experiences in my life, personal life, professional life, put me through a lot of trauma and depression, anxiety. I experienced panic attacks, anxiety. Some experiences has disturbed me, and I didn't even realize those experiences happened many years ago, but still they resurface because they are memories. So there has been a point in my life where I was neglecting myself to a level where I was not eating, literally sleeping only hardly, like I slept around 10-12 hours over 28 days, and I was not taking showers. I was not just hair wash, but no shower, literally no shower.
You were not talking to anybody, you were not in touch with anyone?
I'm only maintaining a contact to a level where, I don't want people to know that I'm going through this. Somehow I'm not meeting anyone, but I'm just managing and maintaining that contact.
So you're showing to the world that you're okay?
Yeah.
You are alive?
Yes.
And you are
Yes.
fine, but you were not?
I was not. I was absolutely not okay. And I know that I was not okay. And for me, the question that was going on in my head was, I have seen or faced so many experiences in my life, but why is these particular things bothering me and affecting me or affected me to this level? And trust me, Tisha, I was rotting in my bed with smelling, right? I was stinking. And even to a level, I didn't even change a single pair of clothes for 28 days. When I say single pair, nothing.
Yeah.
And it has So I became too dehydrated because I was not taking care of myself. I was talking to my friends or someone, I was trying to open up. I was trying to tell them I'm not okay and I'm feeling this. But again, this time I stopped, because I'll tell you what happened before, why I couldn't open up, or why I was hiding all these emotions from people, right? So there is a backstory to it. So I'll come to that. And so what happened here is, I was neglecting myself, and then I got dehydrated, nothing, no sleep, and all of it. And then one day I started bleeding from my nose profusely, and I had to call GP, because I do not want to create emergency for anyone. And I called the GP, and I didn't do anything. I just started crying for 40 minutes. And the GP is like God sent angel. He didn't stop me, or he didn't say anything except to ensure that we are connected. Obviously, I was sobbing on the call for 40 minutes. After 45 minutes, he started asking, Priya, you are clearly not okay. Could you please do this for me? He's spoken to me like a child, like a father speaking to a child. And then I was like a child saying, yes, yes, yes. And that experience makes me teary even today, right? And that was the time where I was not able to find my strength. I was trying to think about my grandmother, about my future, myself. I know everything around me is great and everything is going great, but I don't know why. He started assessing basically. He did an assessment, and then he's seen me like a high risk of suicidal person. And then he said, Priya, you need to come immediately. And he even went to an extent where he said, I will arrange something for you to come to the hospital. I said, no, I will get better. I know I'm feeling bad. I know I'm not okay, and I want to be okay. I know there is help. You have been a help, so I will come to that help. Let me do that. And then next day I went. I did again shower. I'm not able to, I was able to find strength to do only one thing, right? So I went to the doctor, and then we spoke spiritual level, human level, and medical level. He gave me some medicines, and I started taking them, and I started feeling better after a few weeks. And then my first cousin, she also supported me a lot in this journey, and she knows whatever happened, and the family has been really amazing. So the backstory, why this time I couldn't talk or share explicitly to someone, is when I first started feeling suicidal, when I know that is not me. I'm not someone who would give up on things easily, right? I've faced so many things. There is nothing that has broken me to that level. And then I was like, why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling this? I'm not this weak, I know. But I'm not able to control not to feel that. And whom do I go to? Obviously, I didn't know whom to reach. I mean, I know the doctors are there. I went to the doctors, but I was still not able to find that comfort. So I spoke to my friends, and then some of them again, it's not their fault. But that's when I realized how critical professional help is, how important it is to go to a professional. So the friends, some of them said, oh, you keep overthinking. They just kind of laugh it out, right? They don't understand the seriousness. And it takes tremendous courage to tell someone that you do not feel like living. It is not easy, Tisha, right? To be able to accept that you are feeling shit, and to be able to show someone that you're weak, you're feeling weak. And some of them, instigate you. So they say, oh, people who say they want to do this, they will never do. They don't do it. So stop talking. It's like an instigation, right? You are provoking the person who has come to you seeking help, or that comfort. You're telling them that you're invalidating their feeling, and you're telling them that it is not true, that it is only for attention. But it is cry for help. It is really cry for help. And people, there are so many symptoms that you can look for, right, from the people. One is they kind of disassociate, they kind of self-neglect, they kind of keep talking about something, they kind of say how nice it is if this life ends, and or they kind of give you goodbyes in indirect ways. And I'll tell you, I drove from Hyderabad to my hometown and see my grandmother because it was me trying to say a goodbye. And no one knows about it, right? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
please
become
don't.
emotional.
Never apologize for being emotional and for feeling.
Yes, I should
things.
not. I should not. Yeah. So I know what some things that happened with me, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you went to say goodbye to your grandmother, did she
Yeah.
notice something was wrong?
She's extremely good. It was out of nowhere. I drove and went. I didn't even tell her that I'm coming home, and I drove like 350 kilometers. The first thing she does usually is hug me, like give me tight huggy bear hugs. And she was feeling not okay with me, right? She is thinking that it's about my health, like physical health and all of it. And then she put me on her lap, and then she consoled, and she then asked me, is everything okay? And she started talking to me. She started saying, do you want to tell something? Are you trying to talk something? Do you think you can talk to me, or do you want to talk to someone? And she has comforted me. And then that day again, it reminded me, no, three things that stopped me, right? I have plans, I have so many other things. Three things that stopped me. One, my faith. I won't say it's religion or it's God or it's whatever. It's the faith, right? Faith is something so strong and powerful. So the faith stopped me all the time. At least paused, help me pause and think what and what I should not. Or stop me from acting on it. Then my grandmother, she raised, and whatever this life is, she shaped me, and I have to be grateful. I have to be, if not for me, sometimes start living for others. So that is another hope, another thing that kept me going. Third, it's about I believe in karma. If I do something stupid, I may end my sorrows or problems. Or I mean, I don't have sorrows or problems, right? I don't know why it was happening. But my whole family, or people who look up to me, or who has taken inspiration from, what am I leaving behind? Except for the pain. I know after a week or so they all forget, they all move on. But still, the ones who raised me will have that void forever, right? I didn't want to create that. It's karma, right? I'm not going to escape.
How are you today? Health-wise, mental health-wise, emotionally, how do you find yourself?
Today, I think I'm really doing wonderful. I've been in an amazing place. Not just today, I would say any time, any day, I always think I am in a wonderful place. Although I'm feeling horrible, I would still try to believe that I am doing wonderful, right? I want to be in those high spirits all the time, at least in my head.
Yeah. If there is a message you would like to throw out there regarding people who face conditions like these, where it's not visible, it's internal,
Yeah.
what would you say to others?
First thing I'll say is find strength within. It's difficult, but please do that. It will help you endure not just one condition or one situation you are in, overall your life, right? That is one. Second, be kind to yourself and do not lose hope. It's easy to say. I know it's easy to say, do not lose hope and all of it, but always have something to look forward to, and remind yourself of how beautiful you are as a person. I'm not talking about how you look, but
Appearance.
inside, right? And beautiful souls like us or anyone deserve the best, and constantly remind yourself of it and constantly find a purpose. If I have to tell you, for me, I have been lucky. Like I said, my mom was there, and then although she couldn't understand what I was going through, but she could see, I'm not okay. And my friends have offered me some support. There is someone called Suma. She's like a foster mother, and Suma's husband, he's like a father.
Brilliant. And what would you ask somebody who's not going through something like this? What would you ask them to be considerate of, or to think about, or be aware of?
Yeah. So one thing is, the most annoying thing for me is people call and keep asking how they think they are calling you with a good intention, right? Which is great, which is absolutely good. You have someone to call, check on you, how are you doing? But this is a condition that's not going to get better over a day or a week or a month. Please understand that. That was something that really put me down, and I was so broken inside that, guys, you don't get it. This is a condition that I have to fight for few months or days or years, and it's not going to get any better by tomorrow or day after. Please stop asking me every time, how are you. Then obviously, what would you expect? Would you expect me to sit and cry to you, and would you take it every time? No. And obviously I'll say I'm okay. Yeah, okay. And that's the most dishonest conversation that you can ever have with a person who is going through this. Second is, like I said, just because it is not visible to you or to your naked eye, do not underestimate the intensity of the struggle or intensity of the pain that we are going through. Please be considerate if we need some space, or if we need, if you are quiet, just let us be quiet for some time, because my head could be banging, right? Or I'm not able to open my eyes and see clearly, or I don't have the energy. And do not force eating habits. So autoimmune people, please ensure that you avoid packaged food or highly processed food. Please do not fall into the peer pressure and alcohol or cigarettes, inflammatory foods, anything that causes inflammation. Please take care of yourself. Do not fall into the peer pressure. This is the another thing that I would tell people who is not suffering or having, and be considerate. Never ever go to a patient and say, especially autoimmune survivors, and say, you'll only live once. And then stop telling them that they're not living their life. We are living our life. Unfortunately, we have to make conscious choices, and it depends on our comfort, whether we would like to drink, whether we would not want to, anything, or whether we would want to eat certain foods or not. It depends on our conditions and on our symptoms.
Before we end, Priya, I do ask all my guests to leave me a little note of positivity. And it doesn't have to be for me specifically. It could be for anybody in your life. It could be for the wider world. Or it could be for me or the podcast, anything at all. Can you read it out?
Oh, absolutely. So this is my own line, right?
Oh, wonderful. I love it.
So life is beautiful on its own. You don't need to do anything extra except to live and experience it fully.
Beautifully said. And Priya, you've been so vulnerable in this podcast today, and you shared your story, which you said you haven't done with anybody before in its entirety. So I'm very, very appreciative and grateful of that. I hope anybody listening to that has taken some inspiration from it. It's brought some awareness to some of the rare conditions that you've gone through as well. Thank you so much, Priya, and I wish you all the very best for the future.
Thank you so much, Tisha, for this opportunity. And I should really appreciate you for one thing. The whole intent of you coming up with this podcast is amazing. And you are driving this with a purpose. And I can't wait for many, many stories to come on this platform and through your channel. Unbroken, my story with Tisha.
I want to say thank you to Priya for sharing her story with such openness. Her journey is a powerful reminder that strength doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like choosing hope, kindness, and self belief every single day. If today's conversation resonated with you, take it as a gentle reminder that resilience lives in all of us, often in ways we don't immediately see. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. And until then, stay unbroken.